Okay, so again, just a quick little overview of everything that we've done. Now, as we're going down, we're just going to break things down. Obviously, square root of 50, we can break that down to, 25 times 2, x to the 4th. And then square root of 25 is, then that comes out as a 5, but there's a 3 out there, so that makes that 15. Square root of x to the 4th, x squared, and the 2 is left behind. Six radical 5 plus 3 radical 5 minus 8 radical 5. Radical 5, correct? Because 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. Number 6. What are we thinking?
1 radical 7.
Yeah, 1 radical 7.
Wait. Yeah, 1
Or
radical.
just radical 7. Anybody have any issues? All right, now for number 8. Square root 500. What does that break down to? Say it again. Yeah, 100 times 5. Thank you. And then the y breaks down to? Exactly. Square root of 100. Square root of y to the 8th.
Y to the 4th.
And there we have it. All right, now number 10, a lot of kids find a little tricky, but if you look at it as 77 is just what?
77 squared.
7 times 11. So we have square root of 7 times square root of 7, which is,
7.
and then square root of 11 times square root of 11. So after all that, the answer is just
Oh, that makes sense.
77. All right. 12. Now we're going to distribute the square root of 6. Then we're going to distribute the square root of 6. But I prefer that you not say it's the square root of 12, although you can. All right, I would ask you to say what's common with 6 and 2.
3. Yeah.
There's a common what? 2. And what's left behind?
3.
3, right? Because 6 again is 2 times 3. All right. Now what you're going to do is you're going to multiply square root of 6 times square root of 3. But now you notice there's a common what? 3. So this becomes minus 3 radical 2. Anybody have any questions with that? All right, let's try 14.
But this is literally just like what we were doing 4 months ago, but with a check mark at it. How is this hard?
All right, here we go.
Without check.
Square root of 20.
10 and 2. 5 and 4. 5 and 4.
So 20 breaks down to 5 and 4. But the square root of 4 is,
2. So it's going to be 2 radical 5.
and then of course the square root of 49 is 7. Then there's a 7 out in front, or I'm sorry, a 3 out in front. So it'd just be minus 21. And then you're just looking at saying only those two can be added together.
5 radical 5.
5 radical 5 minus 21. Anybody have any issues with that? 16. So now we're going with radical 2 times radical 2. First smiley face here. -7 radical 2. Second smiley face. Right, and then finally multiplying. So that would give you a positive 49. Any questions with that? Anybody? And now, of course, we just combine terms, right? These two go together,
It's just 51 minus 14 in the second.
and then these go together. So correct, 51 minus 14
Sorry,
radical 2.
radical, not.
Everybody good with that? Okay. 8 times 4. 32. First smiley face. Second smiley face. And then be careful with this one now. First of all, negative times a negative is a
So just
positive. Then square root of 10 times square root of 10 is, but there's a 2 out there, don't forget, right? So that'd be plus 20. Everybody okay with that? And so now 32 plus 20,
That really,
and then combine these two. Minus 20 radical 10. Anybody have any questions? Anybody? Okay. Now, when you're looking here, was what we did on Friday, but we still have to break down the square root of 8. So I want everybody to rewrite this as square root of 8 over square root of 11. I think that's helpful. Now, everybody should be able to say the square root of 8 is just what?
4 and 2.
Which is? Everybody should be able to look at that and say that's just 2 radical 2. Anybody have any issues? And now we're multiplying the top and bottom by radical 11.
2 radical 22 over 11.
Yep. That's all there is. It's called rationalizing the denominator. All right, let's check out 22. Now be careful with this because we have to square both terms. What's -4 squared? What's -4 squared? 16. Radical 5 squared. What's radical 5 squared? 5. Now, if you want to say radical 25, that's fine, but you should know square root of 5 times square root of 5 is just 5. And then 16 times 5,
80.
80. Everybody okay with that? All right, here we go. 63, what perfect square is in 63? Yeah. So we want 9 times 7, and then this is x to the 6th times x. So what's the square root of 9?
3.
Square root of x to the 6th. And then what's left behind? 7x. All right, 26. Is there anything I can simplify with 3 and 4 or with 5 and 2?
That's the answer.
No, you're right. So now what I have to do is I just have to go ahead and what? Rationalize the denominator. So you're gonna multiply the top and bottom by just radical 5. Okay. So the top becomes, thank you, 3 radical 10 over 20. Can I reduce the 10 and the 20?
No.
No, one's irrational and one is rational. That's the answer. Everybody good with that? All right, here we go. What perfect square is in 28? Good. Square root of 4. So when you pull it out, square root of x to the 6th. And then all right, 30. Again, I don't know why I did that.
74.
Yeah. So square root of 4 again. With that number makes it. And then square root of that.
Wait, what was the answer to the one above it? I'm sorry.
Scott.
Thank you.
All right, anybody have any issues with 30? Okay. Now again, everybody rewrite this as square root of 5 over the square root of 3. And multiplying the top and bottom by square root of 3.
Radical 15 over 2.
So we end up with radical 15 over. Again, can we reduce that?
No.
No, we cannot.
What's radical?
All right. One's rational and the other one is irrational. All right, trying to remind you to reduce first when you can't, when you see fractions. So 8 and 12 reduces to what?
2 and 3.
Exactly. 21 and 14. So it's going to be square root of 3 over the square root of 2. So now what do I need to do? Multiply top and bottom by radical 2, which gives me 2 radical 6 over
3 radical 4.
over what?
6.
6.
Oh, wait.
Right. Now can I reduce? Yes. You can of course reduce
6 over 2.
the 2 and the
Radical
6, right? So that just becomes radical 6 over 3. Everybody good with that? Everybody good? All right, here we go. 36 again.
-5 radical 7.
Oh, boy. I hate these
All
ones.
right, here we go. 5 times 2. First smiley face. What is it? -4 radical 3. Second one. What's the second one? And then the third one, be careful, -6. Everybody good? Simplifying that to
4 plus radical 3.
anybody have any issues?
Are there any instant ones?
Like this?
Yeah. I forgot from last week.
That's okay. How did I get 6? Okay, so you're multiplying radical 3 times radical 3. What's that? And then there's a 2. You good now? All right. 40. This one's kind of bad. Square root of 864.
Well, 2 goes in all.
2 goes into all of them, but I wouldn't divide by 2. I would divide by 4 if I didn't know. Right, because I know 4 goes into 8 and 4 goes into 64.
Oh, I was thinking 40.
Right. But somebody type in the square root of 864. Is that a perfect square? Is 864?
8 goes into 8.
Uh-huh. Right, you could divide that by 8. Is 864 a perfect square?
Oh,
No, nobody has a calculator? Is it?
Not a perfect square.
Okay, so now, personally, for me, I just see a 4 goes into all of those. So I would say 4 times 216. And then 4 goes into 216. 4 times 54. 4. Is it 54? And then 54 is 9 times 6.
This one's actually a little
All right.
bit slightly harder.
Yeah.
Slightly.
So now, if you're looking at this, you're saying, what's the square root of 4? 2. What's the square root of 4?
2.
And then square root of 9. There you go. That's not hard. And what's left behind? The 6. All right. Now, is x squared a perfect square?
Yes.
Yeah, so that can come out as a what? X. And then y cubed would break down to y squared times y. So then that comes out as a,
12xy radical 6y.
and there you have it. Beautiful. 2 times 2 times 3. 12xy radical 6y.
Is it okay if we use our calculator for some of the roots? of this?
I don't care. You always have your calculator. That's what I'm saying. All right, here we go. Now let's take a look at 42. Now, the first thing I want everybody to recognize, is there a 5 in 5 and 15? So what is that? 5, and then there's a radical 3 left over here. Does everybody agree?
Yep.
Now, does everybody see 12 can be 3 times 4? And the reason I say that is because there's a 3 here and a 3 here, right? So that comes out as times 3. And then what's the square root of 4? 2. So everybody take a quick look at that and make sure you're good. So that final answer is just 30. Everybody okay with that? Okay, here we go. Let's be careful with 44 now. Square root of 14 times 2. There's a common what? 2. What's left behind? 7. Now I have to go 14 times 7, so I see a common what? Is everybody okay with that? Anybody have any issues with 2 radical 7 minus 7 radical 2? All right, everybody break down 46. It just is so frustrating, Alden. It's so frustrating that you think you don't have to do what everyone else does. It really is. I just do not understand it. I'm seriously going to tell them to turn off your iPad. I'm going to tell them to completely restrict you. All right, not a single person around the room I'm looking. Everyone else seems to be paying attention.
I broke my shoe. I know that's really.
Shh, go fix. Just go fix your problem. Okay, here we go. Radical 28. Someone help me.
So 4 and 7.
Yes. So we break 28 down to 4 times 7.
4 and 7 is 2. So 6 radical.
So 6 radical what?
7.
7.
We got
63 is,
9 radical 7.
yeah, let's just, listen, be correct. I'm asking you a question. Square root of 63 breaks down to 9 and 7. So now that becomes plus 3 radical 7 minus 5 radical 7. 4 radical 7. Any issues? All right, here we go. Now remember, we can just rewrite this as square root 3 plus 2 times square root 3 plus 2. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. So now your first smiley face will make it
2 radical.
plus 2 radical 3. Second smiley face plus what?
2 radical 3.
Plus 2 radical 3 as well. And then finally, plus 4. Bless you. So your final answer here is 7 plus 4 radical 3. Perfect. All right, here we go. Again, always reduce when you can. So the 5 and the 15 just becomes radical 3 over 3 radical 2. Multiply the top and bottom by radical 2. You end up with radical 6 over 6. Can that reduce?
No.
No.
Can't just be, wait, no.
Would it just be radical 1?
Yeah.
No,
I'm thinking that.
Okay, so one more time. This is called an irrational number,
You can't do anything with that.
right? This is irrational.
Actually, oh, wait, that makes sense.
And this guy down here is called
Right.
rational. You cannot reduce them. All right. I can reduce the 5 and the 15 because they are both rational. All right. You cannot reduce one and the other. All right, here we go. Now, again, does everybody see all of this is under the radical, right? So now I can just say 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 15 3 times, 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 21 3 times. So essentially, this is just square root of 3 times square root of 3,
Which is 3.
which we all know now is just 3. Thank you. Easy as that. Okay, let's take care of this now. 72, we've done multiple times. 72, most people think is 9 times 8, but we don't.
Because we're special.
We know it's what? And don't say 18 and 4. Say what?
Well,
6 to, like,
Good job. 36 times 2. All right, if you're looking for the largest perfect square, it would be 36. And then leave x to the 16th, but y to the 9th has to come out as what?
why?
Y to the 8th and y. Remember, you always are dividing your exponents by 2,
Oh, yeah.
right? Dividing your exponents by 2. So now square root of 36. Square root of 36 is what? And then times that, negative 24, x to the 16th, and then y to the 8th, and then square root of what? What's left behind?
2.
2y. Anybody have any issues with 54?
Oh boy, why are these in red? Are they evil?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay, 72 I just did again. So you should be able to tell me now 72 is the same as,
32 times two.
come on, guys, we just said 72 breaks down to what?
9 is
36 and 2. What's the square root of 36?
Wait, 6x16, don't be x12.
Thank you so much.
Well,
All right, square root of 36.
6 and
Then it'd be x to the,
negative 6x to the 6 to radical 2,
radical 2.
if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
Yeah.
And then 54
It's evil.
is what? 9 times 6. So it's just what? 3x to the 5th, radical 6. Perfect.
Can we have to show our work?
Nope. 16. Nine times 2. Anybody have any questions? Anybody? Okay, there you have all the evens. Quick look over the evens. Does anybody need me to repeat anything? Anybody need me to repeat any of the
We
evens?
just blew through 30 questions in one class.
Yeah, I know. I told you, the radicals are pretty simple. So now your job is just to blow through the what? Blow through the odds. And what we'll do is tomorrow then, when you come to class, I'll just say, hey, who's got questions? I'll post the solutions if you want to double check your work. And then tomorrow is just study. All right, does anybody have any questions?
How many questions is the test?
I don't even know yet. I haven't written it.
Cool.
Anybody? What, Oscar? Why am I redoing 52? I'm asking you what the problem is. Say it again. I didn't. You good now? Right, you're just reducing the fractions. And then it ends up being square root of 3 times square root of 3. Oscar, is that all good now? All right, anybody else? All right, work on the odds, please. Knock those out quickly while I post this video, and then you have everything done.